Hi, I'm Nathan. I just want to talk about the difference between being HSP, highly sensitive person, and being clinically depressed, like with MDD, for example, depressive disorder. So, over the past, I'd say all of this year, so um, about a year or two actually, I've been struggling with major depressive disorder, which is depression at its worst levels. And what's been hard to see the differences between what is HSP and what is this depression, and which one is affecting me the most. Well, I think they intertwine and relate a little bit, not relate, but they can be confused easily because as a highly sensitive person, lights are so bright for me. I typically don't go anywhere without throwing on sunglasses or a hat to block the lights from above. Like even at work, the ceiling lights are so bright that people, no, I'm not the only one that complains about them, but nobody else wears a hat because they're so bright, except for me. So um, basically, over the last couple weeks, as I've been noticing, some of the depression has started to lift and started to get a full range. I started to feel a full range of emotions again. Um, that was a strong indicator to help me realize that the depression was causing me to just feel excessive sadness or excessive weight, and it would even physically make my face just feel like it was sagging all the time, and like my eyes were like always wanted to close, and just felt like the world was just crushing me. Now that was definitely depression. Now, as a highly sensitive person, everything seems to be more amplified. So that those emotions would take an extremely intense amount of effort to try to overcome those emotions to still function and go to work, uh, be a good husband and father for my kids, and provide for the family, right? So so I would go to work and I'd come home and I'd be so depleted and so exhausted and so unable to just be a good helper as a father with my wife to our kids, that I would find myself isolating myself in the garage in complete darkness, no stimulations, and then start and also play video games to distract myself from the constant pain of too many emotions that were negative. The pain of sadness was so overwhelming. That's depression. But HSP makes everything feel more intense. So that's how I can help distinguish the difference between the two. So yeah, ask me questions. I'm an open book. I've gone through a slew of meds this year, trying this and that, and I'm telling you, one med for you is not going to be the right med for the next person. So there's no cookie cutter easy answer for proper medication if you're open to that, and doctors will give you various opinions on trying this or that, and there are lots of things to explore and consider. Holistic, through doctors, so natural medicine through doctors, and also things like you could ask a psychiatrist what they think of the FDA approval of ketamine treatments, which is on a low dose, and it helps you to feel all your emotions again during those treatments. I will warn you though, the after the effects for me for about a day and a half being HSP were just awful. But during the treatment, they were worth it every time, because I was able to feel a full range of emotions, and I had hope again. Hope was just never there. Just having that hope again was enough to make those treatments worth it. There's another treatment called TMS, and that one's focused on the brain, where it's not medicine. It's just a magnetic thing that they put on your head, and it just pulses on your brain right here on the left side where the depression is, and it activates that part of the brain that is not functioning right. And oh my gosh, I'm only 8 treatments out of the 15 that I'm supposed to do, because normal patients, if you're a cash patient, you only do 15 treatments. If you're insurance payment patient, then you'll do 30 treatments. But the point is, I'm halfway through my treatment, and I've seen a tremendous amount of emotions coming back to me like I've never felt, and it feels like I've been somehow born again, in a sense. Like my emotions were just flooding off the charts yesterday while I was attending church with my family. And normally, before depression, I'd feel a strong love and encouragement to be better, and then for years while being depressed, nothing. Complete sadness, total disconnect. I felt like a complete foreigner to myself. Like my personality was completely turned off. That's depression. And what yesterday was like was, the person giving the message was is suffering from cancer right now, and she probably has only a few months to live, and her message was quite emotional already. In those same exact examples, before my emotions came back before yesterday, I was in those same scenarios, not feeling much. Just like, noticing that people are being affected around me, crying and feeling sad and feeling empathetic towards someone in that situation. But for me, I was feeling nothing. But yesterday was so different, and this is going back to HSP. Not having depression really holding me back and preventing my personality from being a human again. I was able to feel empathetic towards her husband when he spoke, and the musical number that my wife sang was unbelievably spot on for that message that was being given, and every bit of emotion that I'd ever hoped to feel again when I was depressed was completely there, and some. It was like a flood of gratitude that I've really missed. I missed myself, and it was just unbelievably sweet to have my body and my spirit coming back together and feeling whole again. There's nothing more powerful than to be alive and to be whole. And like I said, I'm an open book, so please ask away. Learning about HSP, I'm going to share lots of examples of things I've come across on the internet, on my channel, as well as trying to explain it in my own experience through what I've learned and how you can identify how to cope with it. Because there's nothing wrong with being an HSP. And there's nothing wrong with not being an HSP. 1 out of 5 people are HSP in the world. So 5 out of 5 guys watching that same message yesterday in the congregation while I was at church, 4 of them would have probably felt pretty uncomfortable listening to people crying and seeing other people reacting that way. For me, being an HSP, it doesn't make me uncomfortable because I completely get it. But we need both people, because being highly sensitive is good. It's like kind of like when it's used right, it can be like a superpower and a thing that gives you an edge. and noticing things before others. When it's being used against you, it's like the kryptonite to your survival. It can be so detrimental and making you feel 10 times worse than a normal person, because instead of just feeling sick, you feel emotionally destroyed and useless and worthless. And there are important things to know about being highly sensitive that will help you not only cope better, but thrive. And that's what I would like to get for you to get out of this channel is learning from others that are commenting, and from my experiences as I share different things. I'm Nathan. I'm HSP, and I'm coming out of depression, and I'm happy to be alive, and I hope you are too. Peace out.